I'm so honored. It's blowing my mind how honored I am to talk to Dr. Claire Simeone. She's a marine mammal veterinarian. She's a TED fellow, which is super awesome. She's a great person. It's been a wonderful discussion, and we're talking about everything from how she became a veterinarian to TED to all the issues that we see on social media and in the news about marine life and the issues with plastic and everything else going on. And she coined this word. She developed this word called zoognosis. So look for it in the next edition of the dictionary. I'm sure Wikipedia already has something written up about it, right? Right. So
it's on wordnick.com.
There you go. So she wanted to talk more about that, and then the work she does at the Marine Mammal Center.
I was thinking about my work and about the connections between human health, animal health, ocean health, but I really thought that it goes beyond that. So we as veterinarians were all very familiar with zoonoses, zoonotic diseases, and most I think members of the public think of zoonotic diseases as a disease that humans can catch from animals, like rabies. But we know that it doesn't just go one way. So humans can catch diseases from animals, but animals can also catch diseases from humans. Like seals can catch influenza virus from humans.
What strain?
Did you know that?
The H1N1? The H1N1 strain?
There are a couple studies that I can point you to where they've isolated virus from seals, and seals, like a seal sneezed on a guy and he developed conjunctivitis and everything from a seal that was infected with seal influenza. So really interesting dynamics there. I just totally blew your mind.
You did. You did. I'm never going to kiss a seal. I'm never going to kiss a seal.
Well, you shouldn't. Thinking about the word zoonosis, if we look at words like diagnosis, that gnosis root is knowledge, Greek for knowledge, and then zoo for all animal life, including us humans. And so I thought, it's bigger than just diseases that spread between us. It's really all of that knowledge transfer. And so just like we learn about animals and we treat them, there's so much knowledge that spreads. And so I think about zoognosis in three ways: sort of knowledge that spreads from humans to animals, from animals to animals, and then from animals back up to humans.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so if
the circle of osis.
Yes, exactly. Just like that disease triad that we learned about in vet school, right there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so, taking examples from my work at the Marine Mammal Center, like thinking about the clinical trials that we do there to improve medicine. So, so much of the medicine that the drugs that we use come from human medicine, or especially formulated for usually small animals or horses or something. And so there's very little that's dedicated or even known in marine mammals. And so I borrowed a gel from human medicine that's used like in cardiovascular surgery to keep vessels clear, but you can mix it with drugs like antibiotics and it stays where you inject it for about a week.
Oh, cool.
Which is very cool. And so for us, eye issues in marine mammals, marine mammals have these big prominent eyes. They tend to get ulcers from trauma, and giving eye drops to a wild animal, a wild sea lion, is like they're not having it. They don't like that at all. And so coming up with a new way to treat them was really important to us clinically. So we did a clinical trial with this gel mixed with antibiotics, and we found that for superficial ulcers, that all of the superficial ulcers healed with a single injection.
Wow.
So you have weeks worth of antibiotics, and you don't have to give them eye drops, which was awesome. So that really revolutionized how we treat eye issues at the Marine Mammal Center. So that is, all of this knowledge that's gathered from research to develop these therapies for humans. There's so much that can be given back to adapt that and to use that knowledge in marine mammals or in small animals or in any species, I think.
And what's really cool, so what I'm getting out of this whole thing is that it's kind of in its infancy, and you're like on the forefront of this, just developing ways Yeah, how can you do drops in a you're in a boat and you got drops, you go blip, blip, blip. Next one.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
that is so awesome. And the other thing I'm thinking is these are like, each of these things you do is like a research paper coming out, right? And article, right? Everything you do.
It's really cool. I mean, that's one of the things I love about marine mammal medicine is that it's like this new frontier. I mean, you know, of course there are amazing people that have been doing work for decades, but compared with, you know, small animal medicine or really, you know, human medicine, there's so many things to discover. So it's always like, oh, let's try this. Great. This is totally new. And so that makes my job really exciting. I love that part of it.
Thoughts go through my mind. We talked about how the specialists come in and how stoked they are to deal with things like, what about like anesthesia and stuff? How is there huge difference? Like, you know, pre-meds and inhalants and all this stuff is just going through my mind.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we could talk for hours about this. Yes, I mean, you know, marine mammals are so specialized to living in a marine environment, and especially those species that are deep divers. You know, they have this dive response that is going to protect and, you know, shunt blood away from their extremities and they have such a buffering capacity in their blood so that they don't become acidotic or acidemic, and so so many specializations that just make marine mammal anesthesia complicated, but then thinking that they are mammals, you know, so those things that we learned, you know, about dogs and cats totally apply, but understanding those physiologic adaptations, there's so many things so we work with marine mammal anesthesiologists. My husband, who's a marine mammal veterinarian, also at the center, he did a fellowship in anesthesia, and he loves that, all of those differences, and even human anesthesiologists, they come and they love to give us consultation and also kind of look back and see how they can apply it to their practice and learning new things. It's a new frontier.
Oh yeah, it's so exciting. I'm even more so. You're doing this in Hawaii and California, so I'm jealous of the locale, and then you get all this exciting stuff. Oh man, this is awesome.
I am a lucky veterinarian. It's true.
And do any of these, so going back to that gel pack for the eye ulcers, are people trying to translate that back to cats and dogs? Are they? You know, because, you know, some cats.
Yeah. So, right. It's true. So we did publish a paper about it, and so it's something that I always am happy to, you know, share with colleagues and everything, that the hopes that it can be useful, because it's true. It's like sea lions are not the only fractious animals that people have to deal with. So can it make someone's life easier? I know that the gel is being used. So I connected with a pharmacist at a compounding pharmacy, and, you know, he had the idea, like, do you think this could be useful in marine animals at all? And it was like, oh yeah, let's take a look at that. And I know that he's compounded it for use, like for otic use, for ear infections and things. And so I don't have a whole lot of information about how, you know, all of the different ways that it could be used and everything, but man, it seems like there's a lot of applicability there.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I would love to have you on again, because I think we just tapped the little surface of what you do and everything. And if I'm going out west, I'm gonna go, hey, listen, you know,
let me know.
Yeah, that'd be so cool to you know, use me for whatever. I'll do whatever. I just want to see what you do.
That's right. We need people to clean up after seals.
I'll bring my rubber boots and I'm there. And I think you're a great representative for the world, and TED shows wisely. I think it's really good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this was a great interview. And remember, everyone, love your pets, whether they be of any species. Love them like they love you, unconditionally. Have a great day.